Welcome to Level One Walkthrough. I'm your host Tony, along with Rob, aka Big Boss. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. I
Yeah.
am tired but excited.
Yes. So today is a very special day because Naughty Dog just released a reveal story trailer for The Last of Us Part Two, which is the primary reason why we're doing this actual special podcast, which is just going to be specifically The Last of Us trailer. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to basically just get our thoughts of what we think the trailer might actually be, because both of us, I haven't seen the trailer. I've stayed away from any kind of spoilers for today. How about yourself, Rob? Have you seen anything? Have you heard anything?
It's been
Have you stayed
very
away?
it's been very difficult,
Okay. Okay.
especially since when they launched the trailer so early, especially when we're on the East Coast. But no, I stayed away from everything. I
Okay.
haven't seen anything from it, and
Okay.
just nothing.
Perfect. So we're both going to be, you know, watching this blind, and we're both going to be like just reacting to what we see. So what we're going to do is kind of just talk about what it is that we think we may see in the actual trailer and just kind of speculate for a second, and then we'll jump right into it. We'll watch the trailer, and then we'll come back and actually get our first initial reactions. The audio podcast is just going to be this primarily, where you're just going to hear us actually talking about it, and we may go into like the description specifically in the video. So if you want to actually watch the video version of this will be coming out the day after. So that way you can be able to see exactly what we're talking about. So just initial reactions is primarily what we want to do, focus on for today. So Rob, I'll go ahead and ask you, what, based on the last trailer that they sent out, the one where it showed Ellie, it showed her, with the girl,
Hmm.
not the one where they showed that she potentially, I think that actually, you know what, I think that's the right one,
It
where
might
it
have
just
been the
showed
same
her,
one.
yeah, where it just showed her, with her potential girlfriend that
Hmm.
may die or something like that. They give you
Hmm.
kind of, they allude to that.
Right.
What do you think this trailer is going to be kind of showing? What do you think the Naughty Dog's going to kind of give us?
It's hard, right, man? And like I hope that it's not as detailed. Like I see, it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
or 26 seconds. But I hope it's not like something they do with movies where they show you everything. And again, the game is a month away,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping they don't put too much in there, especially with the
Mm-hmm.
leaks that happen. I'm sure that they want to keep a lot of facts about this game close to their chest.
Right.
So I don't know how much we'll get into. I'm sure we'll see a lot of scenes of killing,
Mm-hmm.
and her trying to survive, like you do in the game. Um, I think the previous trailer obviously showed, hey, we're in this pandemic as as we are,
Yeah.
but life is trying to move on. It's
Right.
trying to get along with the relationships, especially with these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't really see Joel. I mean, a little bit, potentially at the time was like, oh, is he a ghost? Is he dead? What's going on? Kind of
Right.
thing. So it's I'm expecting to see a little bit more gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting to see a little bit more, since it's a story trailer, what her motivations are besides just surviving,
Right.
and like you mentioned with the potential girlfriend that she has, like trying to save her from whoever, whether it's capturing her or trying to kill her, or is it
Mm-hmm.
revenge after they kill her?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is it that's going to happen? But I
Right.
mean, that's kind of what I think. But what you got?
I got a lot of thoughts. First off, before like most of these kind of trailers, these like story trailers or anything like that, anytime that these come out, I'm always really excited because I always like the direction of how they're going to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time they just play the trailer, it's already cut specifically as a story trailer itself
Mm-hmm.
from the actual studio. What I like with like Rockstar, what Rockstar Games did with like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, they narrate, also in LA Noir, they narrate the
Good
actual
game. Good game.
trailer. So there's a narrator actually telling you specifically what you're doing in the game, all those other things. So I wonder if they take a page into something like that, because I don't think they've ever done that. So it's like if they narrate what you can do within the game and then they give you the story threads within it, like what's happening, that would be really interesting, because you can expand on this world. You can go so far into this, because they showed a little piece of the community with Ellie and that girl before they set out to go get, like, probably scavenge for
Mm-hmm.
part of parts, or equipment or
Or
whatever.
food or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like they went out and went hunting and stuff like that. So the whole encampment itself, I'd imagine there's something in there that you could be able to trade with maybe other vendors, or you
Mm-hmm.
have missions within that, because it almost kind of sets it up for like maybe a potential open world where you can be able to venture out whenever you want,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're sticking to that narrative path of like, this is the story, this is what you guys got to do. You have a little things, couple things you can deviate away from, but you're really going on the path.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it more of a civilization. That like, hey,
Yes.
we
Yes.
tried to figure it out. We're trying to
Right.
learn how to survive with all
Right.
the shit that's going on. That
Right.
yeah, that I didn't even think about that though.
Yeah.
Like being able to trade within that. I just yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, because it just gives you more of that actual world building itself, and that's one thing that they've been so that was so heavily detailed in the first one, because even in the very beginning, where they talk about the civil unrest, they talk about the fireflies, they talk about the
Hmm.
military controlling, rations, and then everything, the world basically stops, and there's people that are still revolting against the actual system, because there's a system of control. So it's like no matter what, there's always there's haves and there's have nots. So I love that they even played with that dynamic. Well, before, I mean, not only on top of that, they have to deal with all these the people that are infected outside of the actual walls or even within, because it's not safe.
Hmm.
There's still that conflict. So
Well,
I don't know. I don't. I'm very I'm very curious on what they're going to do with Ellie. I wonder if she's going to be the primary player that the actual audience gets to be able to play,
yeah,
or if they're going to do the same thing like they did before and actually switch it up, where you can
switcheroo.
actually, yeah, you can be able to change that, or you can actually change to another person. Um,
The one thing
that
I'm
that'd be
sorry
interesting.
just to cut you off.
That's okay.
The one thing that like we talk about balance, right? Balance in
Mhm.
games. It's
Mhm.
like that almost open world. Like that would be cool, like a cool
Yeah.
element to like add and then like do a little bit more. But
Yeah.
would that take away too much from the narrative story that they want to tell, to kind of not necessarily make it strictly linear, but like
Mhm.
kind of to try to push what story they want to tell, as opposed to you kind of just doing whatever. So it's a weird that
Yeah.
balance has to be
Yeah.
there to do both.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their levels. I remember when you went to go in the first one, when you went to go visit Billstown,
Mm-hmm.
right before you even get up to that, like before you even encounter Bill, like you have the moment where you're out in the wilderness, and then you go into the town, and then you get to kind of interact with what's going on. You have to go in between of like some of the buildings, and then you go into one of the entrances that keys in that cutscene where you meet Bill for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they can be able to just kind of expand on those levels and make them a little bit bigger. And it feels like you're doing a little bit more, but you're still being centered around this path. Like it's still directing you in
Mm-hmm.
one place. I just think that you can open it up a little bit more, because
Right.
you have time to now to be able to develop, because you can even have moments where you can be able to talk to the people that are living there. I think that's the one thing I'm really focusing on,
Right.
because I want to see more of the actual community of people, because before it was always just them. It was always
Yeah.
Joel and Ellie together, and they had a couple people in between, but you never got like a story of like
Mm-hmm.
how other people are living their lives. You would just encounter other people getting mowed down by people that just are scavengers, and they just kill anyone to be able to take anyone's food or clothes or whatever. That's what I'm curious about. So I don't know. I'm really really excited. I wonder if they're gonna bring back any characters that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they bring back Bill, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tommy might be back, which is Joel's brother. Um, Bill might come back, because you don't know what happened to him. But
You know what
I don't know. I don't know.
I kind of want to, and it's so I didn't even play any of this shit, but to for me to go into like all of these horror games
Hmm.
and like getting through like Dead Space and like Doom's not really horror, it's a shooter, but like to get through Dead Space, starting Dead Space 2, playing Resident Evil 3 remake, and like getting into like kind of like the horror genre.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you feel the same way, but Last of Us to me, the best game of the PS3's generation, like by far. Like when I played and completed that fucking game,
Yeah.
my god, like was that was everything,
Yep.
as people would like to say. Um, but with that game, I almost want to finish whatever I'm doing, replay the PS4 remaster of,
Yes.
and then go
Yes.
into this fucking
Yes.
game because I'm fucking excited, dude.
Right.
I'm ready to fucking go with this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think
I
I
mean,
might end
that's
up finishing something. I don't know how long it'll take me to
right.
kind of get to, because it's what, June 19th or something that this game comes out. So
Yeah.
a little more than a month that we got
Yeah.
going, so I could fit some more games in there before
Right.
I go into do the original and then the second one.
You got some time,
I got time.
and you're gonna hate me for this. And I'm gonna tell you this.
Oh no.
I have not played Left Behind, the downloadable one.
What?
And you know the reason why, and I have a complete explanation for this,
Okay.
is I've already
Let's hear it.
I played the original that was on the PS3.
Yeah.
I finished that.
Yeah.
I finished the remastered version of it. I finished that on the most difficult one, which is the grounded one, which takes everything away.
Jesus. I didn't even do that. Actually, I didn't even finish the remaster.
Yeah.
I started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I finished that. And right when I finished that, I was actually editing all the videos so I can be able to actually post them on YouTube. And I just got stuck with other videos and other stuff that I had to do.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. So then what I started doing is I started going back because I didn't end up finishing the videos being placed onto the YouTube channel. So what I did is I said, okay, let me scrap it. Let me go back and actually do the commentary. Let me actually talk through the game and let me actually share my thoughts on it, because I'm not one for having commentary within the actual games, because I like people to actually hear what they're actually doing, like story wise.
Yeah.
So I tried something different where you can actually hear my actual thoughts on that. So what I want to do is finish this, because this is the only thing that I have to do before that one comes out, is finish the remastered over again, and then do the Left Behind, because I've yet to play that game, and I'm so excited because now I'm so glad that I've saved that part, because that's going to be fresh in my mind, and it's going to jump into part 2, which is going to be pretty incredible.
Yeah, and it's a prequel, so I might want to actually forego the remaster. Just do the prequel part, do the remaster, and then move on to the second one. That'll just set me up perfectly. Now, granted, the behind, the Last of Us Behind portion of it, it like, it's not that long, but
that's okay.
I savored it because it was more content.
It was something
after
new.
And if it finished the original game, and I played it like twice, I think 2 or 3 times, I want to say.
Yeah.
And going to see it, I was like, oh, it's more Last of Us. Granted, it's not that long, but it's cool. I get to see a different part of Ellie as a character, get to see a little bit more of the world, and I enjoyed that. So it's again not going to take you that long. So, but as an aside, did you ever play the multiplayer in that game?
Yes.
I wish I did. I don't know if it's still like up and running as far as like I'm assuming it's.
I would think so.
Because I was like, I heard like it's not like the best thing in the world, but it's like it's interesting enough and different enough for people to kind of jump in and kind of like have fun with it. So we'll see. I might get into it.
I playing it was actually pretty fun. The one thing that I really enjoyed the most is that it actually puts you in some of the levels that you've seen before, and it expands on some of those levels, so that you go through like other sections. Like, you remember when you go to the university towards the very, very end of it, there's a level where you actually are playing within that actual university. So it kind of plays some of those levels, and that's the one thing that I really liked about it. Gameplay wise, I'm not big into like team deathmatch and stuff like that, and that's
Mm,
kind of what it came around to.
mm-hmm.
I don't know offhand if they did something like what the Resident Evil did with um, what they're doing with their multiplayer, the most
Mm-hmm.
recent one,
Yeah.
where you can actually throw like infected
Certain.
and runners or clickers or anything like that. That would be cool.
I felt
But
like they just really just did like what you said, team
yeah,
deathmatch and like generic multiplayer, archetype
yeah.
things.
But to be perfectly honest with you, man, what I want and what I would love to have is if they come out with like part three, whenever that comes out,
Mm.
and have it where it's in a big world, and you can go to different quarantines, different factions all over this big map, and it's an open world, and you have to craft your items. You can find things through drawers. You have to go in and out of houses. There can be clickers. There can be runners all over. You can have people that are just hunting down in like major cities where you can be walking around. Would Dude, I would go crazy for something like that.
Now,
Like, imagine that big world, but just not as massive as you would think of, like a Daisy or anything like that. Keep the elements of The Last of Us grounded. Keep it where it has that cinematic feel where like you're going into like a major city, and you actually the first time you actually encounter the clickers. You remember that when
mhm.
you're with Joel, Ellie, and Tess. That part where you're looking up and those big buildings are like one building has collapsed onto another. Do you remember that when it's raining? It's right when you get out of the sewer, right when you leave, you break out
You
of the
break.
quarantine
Yeah.
zone.
Hmm.
Okay, so something like that. Like, give me a big city like that, and there's clickers, and you can go inside the buildings. You could actually go onto the streets. Like, if you can give me that post-apocalyptic, real-world situation where you're either Joel, Ellie, or maybe someone else, a completely different character, and give me those elements of the game, oh man, I would play that forever, forever.
So I'm always, I'm never like a positive person, I guess. I
Sure, you are. You're all rainbows and sunshine.
Why, thank you. No,
Yeah.
not at all. To me, and I don't want to shit on your dreams. My question to you is,
Uh huh.
we're lucky to even get a sequel to this game, right?
I know.
Like
I know. I'm not. I am
what
try. I
like
am. I know.
the fact
I
we
know.
would get a third game to kill Neil Druckmann's life, for
Yes.
he would just die after the third one, like stress and like all the
Hmm.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
But just the fact to do that, do you think that narratively speaking, I guess that we would have to wait till we actually finish the second game. Like, would it make sense? Or are they gonna leave it up? Like, because you say they saw Uncharted, they could still do another one. They're into doing another one probably another 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But I also think about like when you talk about a little bit open world and not like super open world, I think about Days Gone.
Yes.
And I feel like while that one didn't do as well as the Ben studio wanted it to, and especially how
Yes.
long it took to develop that game,
Yep.
and I haven't played it honestly, so I
I
can't
played it.
really give. Ben, how was how was that?
It doesn't make sense for you to have a motorcycle in like the rural areas of Oregon, where you're going
That's right, it is in
through.
Oregon. Yeah.
You're like in hills and
Hmm.
you're off road and stuff like that. It would make sense if you had like a I don't even know, like a one of those dirt bikes or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The character itself, it's he's really he's very one dimensional between him and his brother. There's a dynamic between his brother where he gets injured, and basically he's at the main hub all the time, and
Mm.
you're kind of doing all these other missions to like figure out what's going on. Your girlfriend is, gets basically she gets put on a helicopter in the very beginning, and you and your brother stay behind,
Hmm.
and she basically just disappears, and you don't get to see her. So your character has these kind of his motivation to try to see if he can find his girlfriend, but it's not where you feel like you're ever like in danger of what you're doing, because uh, they have the motorcycle, which is your main transportation, main hub of transportation. So if your bike were to break down, you have to actually fix it. So
Right. Yeah.
your bike could run out of gas,
Hmm.
which happened a couple times, which that played on itself quite often. But the thing that broke me from this is, if the game itself is all based on realism, and if you need gas,
Hmm.
then common sense would tell you that people that are living, that are kind of like these ravenous people, that are kind of like they're plucked out of like the Mad Max
Yeah.
world,
Hmm.
and they basically are just, they just kill whatever, and they're like these people that are like, whatever, like they're like mindless, like what do you call those people that eat people? What is it?
Oh,
Uh,
fucking cannibals.
Cannibals.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense if they were to hoard all the gas,
Hmm.
and they you would have to like infiltrate places to be able to get gas. Like, I thought of like, well, what if you went into a compound where they had all this amount of gas and you don't have any, and you have to siphon the gas away from them in order for you to take your bike and be able to drive wherever you need to, because
Hmm.
you always felt like you can always get to wherever you needed to go. So essentially, the game itself, after playing it for like maybe 25 to 30 hours, I was bored doing what I was doing. I love the idea that you can find vehicles that are abandoned, and you can actually jimmy pick the locks
Yeah.
with your knife,
Hmm.
and you could stab the hood, and you can open it up and grab stuff. I did like that,
That's cool.
but they didn't play further into it. It was
Mm.
just just the cars itself. So it from what they were doing, it was interesting, but overall, the story, the narrative of what you were doing, it just pulled me away, because the character didn't feel like he's really living in this world. He never felt defeated. He never felt like he was at the end of his rope. He
Hmm.
always felt like he was the one that can overcome everything, and he didn't seem like a character that had the ability to be able to overcome all these things so naturally and so easily, even though his real motivation is just trying to see what his girlfriend, if she's still alive or whatever. So it's nothing like what The
So
Last of Us does.
it's like Superman, like, oh, I don't have no danger. I'm going in.
Yes,
All these
yes,
whatever quote unquote freakers
yes,
or whatever are
yes,
attacking me, but no big deal. I have enough
yes.
gas in my big bike. But you would
Right.
assume, and I know gameplay. We're talking about balance, like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, why wouldn't you just bring gas with you? Like on a,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you
Right.
see bikes all the time with like little package that if you're on like the middle of no and you know that you have to travel on bikes for a long period of time, like why wouldn't you just
Right.
bring gas with you? Like I have to like now, okay, cool idea to go siphon and scavenge and do what you need
Mm-hmm.
to do to break into these areas that are ravaged by these
Mm-hmm.
freakers. And that's the crazy part, is like you're dealing with these beings that you know are in your world and you have to
Mm-hmm.
survive and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the more zombies or freakers that they throw at you, the tension starts dripping away instead
Mm-hmm.
of it being more of a oh shit, they're coming after me too. All right, I guess I'll just shoot all of them in the face and hopefully a lot of
Right.
them die.
Right, and
So
you have all this ammunition and everything.
right.
But just imagine this. Imagine, like, this is what is going on in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point we'll get to the trailer. So just bear
Uh,
with us, because we
we talk too
we have a
much. We
we have
talk
a
too
we have a
much.
we have a tendency to just go off the
I
rails.
like it though. I
But
want to do it.
this is the whole reason why we're doing this special edition of this one,
Yeah.
because this game really makes you kind of like dissecting like ideas of what you would like. Imagine if you're inside of a big, like in The Last of Us, when you first go into the major city and you first encounter the clicker. Imagine a scene where you're by yourself, and this is the a multiplayer version of this, and you're a
Mhm.
character. You're walking around, and all of a sudden you see that there's clickers. You're hiding. You're getting around, and then all of a sudden they hear you and they're running after you. What if it'd be awesome if you're running up the stairs and trying to get away from them, and then you open up a door, and then you close it behind you, and you hear them pounding through the door, and then you get inside you close the door behind you, and they're still pounding on the door, and then you get into a new room, and you're like, okay, how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
And then you find like, oh, there's a window, and you can be able to climb down a little, and then all of a sudden you hear the actual clickers of the runners break down the door, and they're trying to find you, and you're like hanging over like a window, and like you look down, and you're like maybe 10, 30 stories up,
Hmm.
and you look down and you're just like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? Like you have to hold on, you have to kind of like look and see if they're still there. You can play with that whole idea of just
That's very true.
you're outnumbered. You never are. You never feel like you can be able to be. You can be confident enough to be like, okay, I can get through. Every day is a challenge because it's always something different. So imagine that. Imagine like you're in a big building like that and you have that scenario, or you're on the ground level of a street and you see all these buildings, and let's say there's some homes, and all of a sudden you see people that are like scavengers that are around the area, and they're like getting stuff. You can hide and you can get away from them because you're by yourself, so you're never on a team. Or you can hunt them down individually and take them out or something like that. There's so much you can do with it and keep it grounded where you're not that character that can take down everybody.
See,
You are still restricted with all the things that you have within the first game, where you have to craft your stuff, your ammo is scarce, everything.
see, I love that idea. See, like that portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
w- so it's the difference between, oh, zombies are running at you and there's 1,000 of them,
Yes.
versus what you're talking about, which is fucking brilliant. It's like it's the same thing, Last of Us, but in a larger scale. It's more of
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, all right, today, like, everyone craft. I have to craft all my shit, all my ammo, all this stuff. Like we always
Yep.
do, scavenge, get parts, and all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. All right, I'm running out of this specific. Oh, let's just say ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking down the road there, or on a horse or what have you. There's a
Yep.
big building. I haven't looked through this building yet.
Yeah.
Let's go see if I basically can survive and find shit, or if it was
Yes.
worthless. Like you were
Yes.
talking about and mentioning about the game you were playing, Lost on an Island, like scavenging through shit, and like
Mm-hmm.
the ability to have that cool moment of discovering something on an island
Mm-hmm.
or a building and being like, cool, never got here, and then all of a sudden something happens where a clicker comes out, or even a bigger enemy comes out, and you have to survive and figure
Right.
out a way to get out of that building or jumping out of window. That's really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as you're able to kind of not make it too much of a shooter like Days Gone has, where it's like I got plenty of ammo. I'm not even scared.
Right.
Again, I haven't played the game, but like from what I've seen and what you just stated, like I'm just shooting people or shooting freakers, and that's it. And I have no fucking qualms about it. Like, that's boring to me. Like, I
Right.
love the ability to be, and that's what I loved about the original Last of Us so much, was the
Mm-hmm.
ability to craft. And I love stealth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fucking big boss, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
love
I
going
know.
through and just killing people, like killing,
Yep.
enemies without having to shoot my gun, doing it
Mm-hmm.
stealthily, and
Mm-hmm.
and then hoarding all my shit just in case shit goes down where I need to pull out my big
Right.
guns. I love
Right.
that fucking aspect of it. So
Right.
hopefully, I don't know, man. I'm
And
but
if you,
either way,
yeah, and if you did get caught, you at least have enough to be able to like
get
stand
away.
your own.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So imagine that. Imagine
that'd be
like,
cool.
or even if you're just trekking along, like if you're just walking down like a major city and you're just walking in your tents and you're holding your gun, or you have your hand on your hip,
My fucking
just
bow.
make it.
That's my
Yeah, like you're holding on
that's
to
my
it, and
shit.
you're just walking around, and then all of a sudden you hear something, and then you kind of like crouch down. You get behind a car that's like abandoned, that has all these like plants, all this
Mm-hmm.
life coming out of
Foliage.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're standing there for a second, or you're crouching, and all of a sudden you hear people talking down the street. They're like, "Hey, I think I heard somebody. Did
Mm-hmm.
you see this girl? There's a girl walking around here." And it's like you create that tension automatically, and you can decide if you want to encounter these people or not, or you can just get around them if you can, because everything you do makes sound, and especially if you're in a major city, you can get on a horse, but that's gonna make a lot of noise, so it's gonna bring a lot of attention to yourself.
Another thing is I didn't really realize, like the other tension portion that comes out too
Hmm.
is the enemy is being different. So you have your like zombie element to it, but there's
Hmm.
also other people that are
Exactly.
there. I love that aspect of it because
Hmm.
they're trying to survive. They're probably assholes. They're gonna
Hmm.
try to kill you no matter what and try to take
Right.
your shit. Like that aspect of like the whole Mad Max kind of feeling and vibe
Hmm.
of it. I think that's also just an interesting point to have in this world too.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just everyone's against the zombies. It's oh
yeah.
yeah, there's these assholes too that just don't give a fuck about you. I
Exactly.
love that.
Exactly.
I love
And if they let's say they don't see you, let's say they see somebody else and they're part
that.
of the actual game. What if okay, did you ever see that movie Book of Eli?
Oh, you're hitting me with
Okay,
all these
okay,
movies that I
okay,
love.
okay, okay.
Good thing,
So
good thing.
okay,
I've seen these.
so I'm giving you a prime example of exactly what I'm talking
Oh
about.
man,
You remember that scene where Denzel Washington is walking down the freeway, and then all of a sudden he hears something. He hears these motorcycle
hmm
like it's these bunch of motorcycles. He crouches down and gets behind the freeway barrier, and he looks over and he sees a woman and a man, I believe, being like being assaulted by these bikers, and he keeps telling himself, "Don't get involved." He says something like, "Don't get
yeah, yeah,
involved. Don't make sound. Don't think about it. Don't do it."
yep.
What if you had that same
Oh
situation that
god,
happened that plays right in front of you? You can decide to intervene or not,
good point.
or or you can wait until they actually take. Let's say they kidnap the people or they kill them, and they leave them. Let's say you can go out afterwards and try to grab whatever materials you can from that person that died,
hmm
or you can take them all out, waste your ammo, but you also might be able to get something that's in your benefit,
Right.
or you could try to save them.
Yeah.
What you They give you that scenario right then and there. You make the decision on what you want to do.
hmm
They don't tell you, "Hey, be aggressive, be passive."
Be a
No, no,
good
no, no.
guy or a bad guy.
It's all in within context of what's happening. And that scenario in that movie I loved because Denzel Washington's character was conflicted because he was just like, "Don't get involved." He was saying that out loud, but he was talking to himself. He's like, "Don't get involved," or you know, keep keep walking the path. Don't get distracted, or something like that. Don't get sidetracked, or something like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that kind those kind of scenarios, and good point for bringing up fucking Book of Eli. I'll have to say, just give a shout out to Gary Whitta who wrote that fucking movie, formerly of IGN, and then also wrote
Really?
Star Wars Rogue One. So shout out to him.
Huh?
Also
I
makes
did not know that.
appearances on Care, kind of funny. But yes, he wrote. I always try to bring it back to kind of fun of those guys. But yes, he fucking wrote that movie, and I want to say that was like the first movie he actually was successful with like pitching, and he wrote that fucking story, and
Mm-hmm.
so good. So one
Mm-hmm.
of the a really fucking brilliant movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, those types of scenarios where you get into where what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you try to help out and risk your own life to
Exactly.
possibly what get hurt, get killed?
Mm-hmm.
You could, save this person, but what do they give you at the end of it? You wasted a bunch of
Exactly.
precious ammo or health or this or that, and just for
Yes.
what? What if they don't give you shit? And you're like, oh, thanks, and that's it. Like,
Exactly.
there's nothing there. And just putting the player in scenarios where they have to make those types of choices is a good mechanic to put in, especially to a survival game like this.
Exactly. Exactly. Or let's say the open world is too ambitious.
Yeah,
Let's say
but
that let's
not
say the
open, but like kind of not linear, but
yes.
like a little bit.
So maybe this is kind of what they may give you in the story trailer that will that once we
Uh,
get through this
in
and stop
two
talking.
in 2 days, it's gonna be two
Yes.
days.
Let's once we see the actual trailer and see what they're actually going to do.
Right.
But let's say they give you those little scenarios. Let's say they give you that where you can interact with people that are just trying to survive, because your other times that you would see people that was trying to survive would more than likely are the ones that are getting mowed down. They're getting killed,
Mm.
or you're just trying to stay out of sight. But when they see you, they're like attacking you, they're coming after you. Like you're what if you had it where you can be able to maybe even save people, because I'm sure they fixed the actual AI, because that was one thing that kind of would break me out of the immersion of the game,
Really?
is when like Billy or like or it'd be either one of them. Like if you're standing behind something, and let's say there's a clicker or something that's coming around you and you're trying to walk around them, all of a sudden the characters behind you, the AIs, ones that are following your companions, they would run right in front of the clicker, right in front of them, and make noise, and
Yeah.
they'd run right past them, and it's like, wait a minute, how would they would see you, but I make a little bit of noise and they turn around and they see me. Like they ignored all the other AIs except for me.
So
I
so
hope they actually do that where they could fix it.
well, so from that's the when from what after this game came out, and I
Hmm.
remember that being like a little bit of a point or a topic that reviewers have stated where it was like, okay, yeah, it's great and all this, but
Hmm.
it's not as believable when your NPC character who's following you or whatever is
Hmm.
now just blatantly running in front of the thing that's only focusing on me or attacking me.
Right, right.
But that's the hardest part because they had to keep bringing up the word fucking the B word balance
Hmm. Yeah.
is what is more important, right? Are
Hmm.
you going to be more frustrated by the fact that your NPC character, which you cannot really control, gets
Right.
seen by something, and then you're like, oh, fuck. Well, now I have to either try to dodge, run away, do what I need to do, or try to
Hmm.
kill it because this fucktard doesn't listen to what I'm
Right.
doing? Or do you let it just pretend that it's not there even though it is, just so you can get through? And I don't know if that's the
Right.
challenge of game, like developing games and all that other stuff, because that's got to be so fucking difficult to sit there and just try to balance that portion of it.
Yeah, because the characters would the NPCs would move
Yeah,
when you would move.
and you're
So
sneaking. Let's say me, like
right.
I'm trying to sneak, and then all of a sudden, fucking whoever Ellie's like getting seen, and I'm like, well, one, that's not believable, and
Right.
two, I'm sneaking, and that would be
Right.
bullshit if she gets seen because I'm not being seen. Like
Right.
that's fucked up. And so it's one of those things where I feel
Right.
like you have to take it for like with a grain of salt with what we have, and we're
Right.
not there yet to get there. So we'll,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a small little nitpick of this,
yeah,
but my solution would just be something like allow your main character, your player character, to be able to control the actual the NPCs that are behind you, your companions, whoever's following you. You can say, "Hey, stay right here,"
yeah,
and then you move away,
but that
and then you
adds
can
another
call, and then
element.
right, but then you can call them. You know, like when if they stay there, and you move around and you take down the enemies, and then you say, "Oh, okay, come on!" Like you just kind of put your hand up or something, like a little gesture, and they're like, oh, "Okay," and they can still see you. If they can't see you, they won't move. So you have to come to them. So you could
So
do something like that.
you can
Just a
because
simple little thing.
and the thing is, you're not wrong because literally when I told you and I was telling you about how I was like, anyway, long story short, trying to download Dead Space 2 on my PS3,
Hmm.
getting rid of stuff while I was
Hmm.
installing. I started playing Resident Evil Zero. Resident Evil Zero was doing that years ago, where you're playing basically two characters at once, and there's
Hmm.
a function where you literally can say, "Hey, stop right here,"
Right.
or "Come on." There's a button like for it.
Right.
So it's not out of the norm to like that you bring up that portion of it. It can be done. It's
Hmm.
just obviously you're dealing with zombies in Resident Evil as opposed to like trying to be stealthy with like clickers and noise and stuff. So I feel like
Right.
it's a little bit harder to say it's one to one. It could be possible. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
It's just oh man, I
I just
understand that
yeah.
part though. Like you
Yeah.
have to kind of take that out of your brain and yeah, it could pull you out of the game. But like
I
ah,
know,
ah
but I'm just thinking about this because
I know,
I just said it after I thought about it,
I know.
dude. What if you're leaning up against a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's say your other character is behind you, and you're leaning, and they're kind of right next to you. Let's say you move up, and then they replace where you were. They get up against
Mm,
the wall that you were just at, and then you move, and then you stay right there. As long as you're within eye visibility of your other the NPC, the other
mm-hmm.
one that's following you, as long as you're still within their actual view, you put your hand up or you make like a gesture. You know how like in
Mm-hmm.
tactical combat, you
Yep.
know how like
Yep.
most of them don't they use hand
Yep.
gestures.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even say anything. Like you put like your hand and then like you tell them like come here or stay there. Or like you say something like that would just add another element to this because not only are you having to stay the course and like make sure you don't get seen because now we know that in this game in the second one we know that whoever Ellie is going after they are smart.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the other people that were just scavengers. These people will hunt you. Like they made a point to where Ellie was outnumbered, but um, they shot her with an arrow, and then other people came around and they're like, "Oh, she's in the bushes. She's running away." You
Hmm.
know, like they tried to flank you. Like they were smart enough to understand, like, "Oh, you're trying to get away. Okay, we're gonna go around you." So I wonder if they can do something like that because they're adding more elements to it, and now your character can crawl.
Hmm.
So I wonder if you can do that. Like imagine that, like you're crouching
Bring
or you're
me.
laying in a bush
Hmm.
and your other companions over there and they can still see you. You can look over and you put your hand up and like say, "Come here,"
Yep.
or you do something, and then they come to you, or you can say, "Okay, I want," or like you can make a gesture to be like, anyone gets close to you, you attack them. Like imagine you create those little commands and they
Almost.
stay right there hunkered next to you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, almost like an RPG element. Now,
Yeah.
now I will go a little bit further, and
Yes.
let me just present this to you.
Yes.
Dare I say, we do a co-op Last of Us, where
Ooh,
like
tempting.
we don't have to necessarily go
Yes.
gestures and things. We're on mics. We're doing
Mm-hmm.
this. We're playing the single player together. We
Yes.
get seen because we are people playing this game, getting actually seen.
Right.
It's not the
Right.
NPC getting, oh, that's not there, or what have you.
Right.
But we're
Right.
like, let's just say, for instance, Joel and Ellie, and we're fucking playing through this whole thing, and we're like on mics. Me and Tony fucking
Yes.
splash it on the YouTube screen right now. Fucking
Yes.
Big Boss and Tony fucking playing Last of Us 2 co-op
Right.
and putting,
Right.
wouldn't that be interesting?
That would be because you know what that got me thinking of
Well,
is did you ever play the Splinter Cell Conviction multiplayer?
I did not. I have it on my. It was a PS3. I have the fucking disc literally in
Yeah.
my fucking thing, and
Yeah.
I barely played it, but
So it was an
was
online
co-op.
portion. Yes, where you could
Oh,
do not the actual game itself, but
like single player.
there was a multiplayer co-op version of it where you had co-op, you had single player, you had co-op, and then you had multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
So the co-ops are their own individual like missions, but you both
Oh,
of you were spies and you can do everything Sam Fisher can do.
that's fucking cool.
You were just another agent. So imagine that whole idea of that, where it's just a co-op version of that same game. So you still play the single player. Then there's a co-op where you both are in these individual missions. Like let's say there's like 8 of them, and you are basically doing exactly what you just said,
But
where it's designed for that.
isn't that cool? Like, yeah, yeah. So, like in my picture, they don't have to redesign like to make specific levels to make it co-op related. But like,
Right.
you're going through the main single player already, and let's say you already have the NPC there. Why not just make it so that instead of it being AI, be like, oh, that's a person, so then we can get through this together in a way. And then, like
Yeah.
to your point, let's say Last of Us Part 3 is a little bit more open world, and let's say, yo,
Right.
Tony, you want to play tonight? All right, let's hop on. Let's try to get into this building. Let's see what's out there. Let's try to craft stuff.
Right.
Hold on, give me a few minutes. Let me make some ammo. Like, that's fucking cool to me,
Right.
at least. Like, I don't know, but like,
I just I
I'm
I love
fuck.
the I love the expansions of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
The problem that I see with this is that people are just going to just see it as like a cash grab, and it's going to just be kind of another thing of like a multiplayer version of the same game. Like it's tarnishing the single player campaign of what it is,
and
and the
and
co-op would be. I just think it's so directed towards one person
mm-hmm.
that having another co-op companion with you would take away that because
Right,
you have to talk to the person and the story is going to kind of take a back seat. It's going
right,
to be more of your guys' experience
right.
before the actual story.
Yeah, you're right, and that was my concern when you were talking about like making it a part 3. Like, do we need to make a part 3? Like the whole point of this game and
Mm-hmm.
the two games is narrative. Like
Yeah.
that's what they want. That's what they're trying to tell a story, and I get that. But
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I get it. A cash grab using the name and then making something and diluting it. That's not what I
Yeah.
want to see either.
Right.
But also imagine like if they're already doing something where the single player is,
Yeah.
something that is very linear, and
Mm-hmm.
you already have an NPC there. You already, let's say, you already played the game. You already beat
Mm-hmm.
the game. Why not
Yeah.
add that co-op element to it so a second playthrough can happen where you already know the story, you already know the story beats, you know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen, and you can like,
Yeah.
all right, well, we'll play this together.
Yeah.
So it's like it could be something to like look at maybe. I don't know, but I also don't like when we get into Assassin's Creed situation where they
Mm-hmm.
constantly churn out these fucking
Yes.
games, and it's just like, come on.
Or let's just say this.
Yeah.
Or they do part two, and then they take a page out of Rockstar, what they did with GTA 4, and make those additional downloadable
The stories, yeah.
expansions
Hmm.
beyond the actual story length of the actual game. So like they have other stories
Battle
that
of the
you can be
Gates
able to play
Army, yeah.
as. Exactly. So you had like the what was it what was the other one
Shit, I
uh
only
the,
remember that
it was a
one.
bike it was a
Oh, the
bikers
bikers one,
Lost and
yeah,
the Damned.
Lost of Damned, yeah.
Lost and Damned. That those two were great. Like I love both of them, and they were just an expansion of that same game.
Right,
So if they did that with this, where you could take on different characters, play something different, I'd be all on board on that
yeah,
because they can keep making this game and not tarnish what the actual story was,
yeah.
because now this is another version of the same thing, but now you're in a different setting, you're playing as a different person, and they can still have that same dynamics, or it's another person from that same community.
Hmm.
What if it's a different point of view where they see
Different
Ellie
characters.
leaving? Yeah, like Ellie leaving one scene, like where she's leaving to go right before her and her girlfriend get kidnapped, or the girlfriend gets kidnapped or killed or whatever happens, and you are a part of another thing. Like
Hmm.
you're another team. You're part of the same
Fireflies or
scavenging
something.
teams. Yeah, you're part of the other team, but you deviate somewhere else,
Hmm.
and they're going another way.
I
So
think
you could do something like that.
like we talked about before, like with Walking Dead, and like the ways that you can use that franchise and like expand upon it
Yeah.
is something that again, you don't want to like dilute it and fucking burn it to the ground, but like being able to like use these and if you can be very narratively driven to these other characters that aren't the main ones, but you can still be fascinated with what they are going through or what they're dealing with, like being able to kind of like switch over to like a Firefly like person and be part of that, and they have to, all right, so your mission is this and this, and it's very specific, like being able to understand the different motivations and what they need to do from another side within the same world is something that's super cool. But I I don't know, man. I feel I feel like I can like sit here and fucking talk about this shit all the time.
I'm just I'm let's just get into it
All
because
right, because we keep
we are
going.
constantly we're just constantly keep talking
We don't
about
even know what
other
the fuck
things
is
and other
going on
things.
yet. Everyone already
Let's
seen this shit, and we haven't
I
even seen
know.
anything. And we're sitting here talking about fucking what it
Here,
could be. All right,
what we could do, what we could be looking at the next one for co-op. Like how
Jesus
greedy are we?
Christ, what is wrong with us?
Just so greedy. Okay, so the way that this is going to work is right now we're going to watch the actual the story trailer that just dropped today,
Mhm.
which is May 6th, 2020, and we are going to actually watch this first reactions, and then we're going to come back, and then you're just going to hear us actually talk about it, what we thought, and then we'll go back on the same video, and we'll be able to go back into certain spots that we're talking about, and what we think may be going on. So all right, so let's go ahead and do this, and we're gonna test this out. Um, can you make sure your volumes although well you need your volume up. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just leave the
Let me know what I need to do.
no. Just keep your volume because you'll need to hear it.
Okay.
So just keep your volume the way you need it. Okay, let's go ahead and watch this. All right, speed in 3, 2. Tell me
I'll let you
tell me
know.
if you yeah. Let me know if you're hearing it. All right, 3, 2, 1.
It's going.
Okay. Oh my god.
I fucking Troy Baker, man.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There we go. Looks fucking good.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, yes. Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Wow. Oh man.
I love how there's a European fucking date. It's like
I know.
nineteen
Yeah.
six. I'm like, what the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean? Oh, wait. Um,
Oh my. Okay. So
it's,
where I don't even know where to even start, man. I okay.
so, uh, hmm. So, I feel like obviously there's a lot of things I want to say.
Okay.
The one thing is that the leaving Joel to do
Mhm.
her own mission,
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm grown up. I'm trying to like leave you behind. You don't have to take care of me anymore. I'm trying to like go on this mission.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they added different characters to kind of like, who are you, or helping,
Right.
or
Right.
like that kind of style. Love that she's on her
Right.
own shit. This seems more of like a revenge story. I
Yes.
remember the original. I don't know if it was an E3 trailer when they first, or maybe it was like a video. It was just like PlayStation doing their own like, kind of like a Nintendo Direct, whatever those
Mhm.
words, like a state of play. I think that's what it was called. When they first showed Last of Us 2, where they talk about her mother a little bit. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't. I don't.
People alluded to her mother being in this thing, like it was almost
Huh.
like a prequel, and like figuring out where she came from. So I don't know if that's going to play any kind of part into it, because people assume that, hey, I don't know if, again, I'll try to remember the original trailer where someone got hung upside down and there was a hammer and someone got beat to death. So, it was something like that. We'll go
Okay.
into like the original like teaser one, because it's been a couple years since I've seen it. But I
Okay.
feel like someone talked about her mom. I don't know if it was
Okay.
something to do with that, but or again, like we talked about, her potential girlfriend being like the revenge story. Like, did they kill her?
Yes.
Did they kidnap her? Are they trying to come after them? Like, kind of thing. So like, I love those different types of elements to it,
Mhm.
and her just being like, dude, yeah, you should have fucking killed me, dude.
Mhm.
You should have,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's badass.
I love the idea of that because even though it is a simple revenge potentially, that you have that, but then also you have this huge backdrop of everything that the world has ended.
Mm-hmm.
And what a perfect thing to have something where it's just directed on one thing. Your character's motivation is all based on what happened because you got to imagine like she has no idea what Joel went through before because remember Joel's life
Mm-hmm.
was with his daughter well before
Yep.
the infection happened. So he had two different lives.
Mm-hmm.
One that ended and his new life of like becoming this gun running scavenger, do whatever you can. Like he doesn't care about anybody. He's lost that will of like wanting to put himself in harm's way for somebody else because he doesn't care.
Until he met Ellie, and
until he
that
met Ellie.
translated from
Yes.
the daughter over to this daughter. This is essentially what
Yes.
happened.
Yeah.
So being able to like care for someone and then them not living, and then him being on his own, and with him with Tess or whatever, and
Right.
having that relationship, and all of a sudden this 12, 13-year old girl, I forget how old she is, maybe 16 at that
I think
time.
she's. Yeah, I think she's 13.
Okay, so like around that age and being like, oh,
Yeah.
you remind me of my daughter, I needed
Right.
that motivation is cool. And hearing
Right.
fucking Troy Baker again, oh, fucking great.
Just so good.
It's so
I. I.
fucking good.
I think honestly, I think they're gonna it's gonna be paralleled with Joel's what he went through and like that rage that he
Mm-hmm.
had,
Because you
and that
see him calm down, right?
now exactly,
Yeah.
and now you see that Ellie is going to go through her own traumatic event in her life because he lost everything. He had no remorse for
Mm-hmm.
anything
He didn't.
after what
He didn't
happened.
give a fuck
He
anymore.
did not care, and it's like Ellie is going to teeter on that where she's going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole thing where she's shaking right before she was going to touch the gun,
Mm.
like her hand was all bleeding. I love that because that just illustrates how tense and how angry she is, that it's like she can't control herself anymore because of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, man, I got lost in this because it seems like I kept thinking of the HBO TV show that they're going to be making
Mm.
with this, and I start thinking about what you can do with this, and maybe we'll never get what we're talking about.
We'll see.
Maybe we'll get it in like live action form, because the scenes alone, like, because they've done that before, where in the first one, in the trailer, they showed the first The Last of Us, they showed people strung up that were like skeletons and stuff. They
Yes.
showed that
Yeah,
before.
that's what I
So
mean. Like the original trailer was something like that, where people were hung upside down and like for a
yeah,
purpose, and I can't
yeah.
remember.
Well, it was they were being, one guy was being hung up, and then they gut him,
Mm-hmm.
and then his guts spill out.
And I feel like that's the same trailer that they were trying to state that maybe that this trailer was an earlier, like years before Ellie was even born. That
Uh huh.
the girl that was hung up was the mom, and all of a sudden she escaped. Like, I don't. Again, this was all speculated. This was years ago, so whether that's true
Right.
or not, we don't know until the game actually comes out, and whether they even use that footage in the game, we don't
Right.
even fucking know. But
Right.
the fact that there's all this speculation with it, like, man, Naughty Dog and Sony fucking know how to make trailers. Like, narrative
Yep.
trailers, like when I hear that fucking PlayStation go like that
Mm-hmm.
noise and going into it, and ah, they just know. They just know what the
Yeah.
fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Let's try real quick. Try muting your video.
Hmm.
We're gonna try to go just not scene by scene, but I'm gonna try to be able to get to a certain point in the actual trailer and maybe just talk about that just real quick. So I'm gonna play this real quick and let's see. I'm gonna get to a certain point. Okay, just the very beginning.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah, we're good. Yep,
you see what I see, right?
yep.
Okay. So this right here, this is exactly what I'm
You
talking
literally
about.
just said it. Yeah,
I This is what I
the
want.
buildings and everything. Yeah.
I want this where you're walking in by yourself. And it looks like this is early. This is early within the,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is actually when they're walking up to like Billstown, because they flash back
It
in the beginning.
That's what I see. I feel like it's a flashback. And she's
Yeah.
clearly younger. Like, you can
Yeah.
tell, like, they got somewhere, and yeah.
Or maybe this is just a continuation of where they left, because this is maybe this game
Is it out
leads
of
it
the hospital?
towards,
Sorry, hospital. Is
ye,
that where they
it could,
were? I think.
yeah, after they leave the hospital, that's when they actually, like, they get away, and then from there that's when they have that conversation, and at the
Mm-hmm.
end that's how it just ends. So maybe they're continuing their trail wherever they're going, and maybe this gives a little bit more insight, because why would they put this in here? Why would they show
Right.
you a part of the game that you never played before?
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about, like, just looking at that where you can see everything all the city and everything. Just the two of you walking up to just danger.
Hmm.
Like it's such a
It's,
it's just
the, s-
it's so
the
beautiful
sun is
on the
shining, like
yeah the landscape. It just everything looks great,
optimism.
but there's that seedy like all that danger that's there that you just can't see.
Hmm.
Okay, so go a little bit further.
More.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
okay,
look,
that's obviously
yeah.
this is obviously before, but it looks like they retouched the actual characters because
Hmm.
they look totally different. Like they look cleaner.
Hmm.
The hair looks a little bit more more in place.
Well, I
Like
didn't
it
know if
doesn't.
you noticed, Tony. It
Uh
says
huh.
captured on now on PS4 Pro.
Ah,
Maybe,
maybe that's it.
maybe
Maybe the
that's
pro
what
version.
yeah, maybe it
Okay.
made it look a little bit better. I don't know.
Okay. So let's keep on going.
I, dude,
Okay.
that's fucking badass. Like them on horseback and the
I
sun
know. I
shining.
know.
Ah, the reflections. Oof,
See, and that's obviously like
makes it
Tommy's like that was his community because you remember
right.
they walk up there they get up there on their horses.
Substation or some shit, right? Or some
But
kind
if you
of.
notice, if that's Joel, look behind him. Look what he's holstering. It's a guitar.
Oh, fuck! I didn't even notice that, bro.
Yeah,
Damn,
yes, I
dude.
saw that. I saw that quick. I'm like, why does he have that guitar?
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Good call.
Yeah. So let's go into it.
Ah, there's he's playing. Okay.
Well, he was playing, and then she was playing. You remember they showed
Yes.
that
Yeah.
trailer where
Yeah.
she was playing it? Okay.
Hmm.
So I mean,
That's what made me think like he's dead. Like, okay, she learned how to play guitar because of him. Like, you know what I mean? That I felt like she's
well,
trying
I
to
mean,
take that, but we kept seeing Joel over and over again, and it's like, oh, he's not. I
dude,
guess.
what if, okay, what if this?
Conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
What if you're playing as Joel? Let's play on that idea.
Mm.
Let's say you're playing as Joel,
Are you
and you
saying that this
and
is
you
like the
have
Metal Gear Solid? I have to do this. You know I do. You're saying this is the Metal Gear Solid 2 of The Last of Us, where we do a little switcheroo. Another
well,
switcheroo.
kind of.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is if we're playing on this idea that let's say he dies and like she's lost everything,
Hmm.
not only has she lost her girlfriend, she's lost the father,
Yeah.
her best friend, everything, and this
Mother
catapults
figure.
her into it. This
Yeah.
catapults her into everything, into what's going on. Let's say you're doing that. Let's say you're playing as Joel at that moment where you have to put yourself in danger to save Ellie, where Joel will die,
Hmm.
but you have to play that.
Oh, fuck.
You have to play that out where you have to get in
Oh,
front of the bullet,
man.
or you get stabbed, or whatever the situation is. Like, imagine you're playing as that character, and your character is the one that's going to save Ellie. You have no choice in this. You're not, because obviously you're not gonna
That's how it works. Yeah. Hmm.
your decision is not going to be something different. Everybody that plays this game is going to
Right.
want to protect the other person. You're not going to not do that.
Hmm.
So let's say you do that, and let's say you play that, and then it switches to you being able to play as Ellie. Like it switches automatically, and then now you're playing Ellie, seeing Joel die, and then imagine that imagine that scene again where Joel
Oh.
is not only in the beginning of the first one where he's holding his daughter, but now it's Ellie holding Joel.
Can you fucking not? Can you relax a little bit with that shit? You're gonna fucking make me cry. Like, no, don't do that to me, dude. Don't fucking do that,
Hey man, they did that in the very beginning, and
bro.
I
Oh
was
my
crying
god.
after that. I was crying after that. I was like, this is it. I
Please don't.
whatever's going on, I've never experienced anything like this.
Don't do it to me. Please don't do that. Please. Oh, fuck me. That, no. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
Cool element in
okay,
the story, but fuck. Don't do that.
okay, okay.
Jesus.
I'm only suggesting that just because of the fact that they showed you something from the first game.
That makes sense. That fucking makes sense.
They're bringing it. They're tying all this together
God
because
damn
it's
it.
like your experience of what you did in the first one is all reflective towards what's happening here, and this is going to be more of Ellie's story because
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's now the actual main character, and you're
Yep.
not playing. Joel already had his story.
Yep.
Now it's hers.
God damn it. God
Okay,
damn it.
Let's
All right, let's
go into a
yeah,
couple
let's keep
more.
going.
Okay, so that part right there, where they see that one infected that's on the ground
Right.
and it moves.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the first reveal trailer of The Last of Us? You remember when they're going up that
Yeah,
stairs
those.
in
Oh, it
the
was
main building?
iconic. Yes. Yeah, of course
Exactly.
I
Remember
remember
that scene
that. Yeah.
where she actually she flips the body over and she goes through his actual bag
Mm-hmm.
or his like pouch or something and pulls ammo out.
Mm-hmm.
So this one here, I wonder if you're gonna have that thing where you're walking around
That
and then
ability. Yeah.
you or if you're walking around and then all of a sudden one of the runners will pretend to be dead and they'll try to attack
Oh,
you.
dude, yeah, fucking bring it back from like Resident Evil. Like, I clearly
Exactly.
played fucking Resident Evil recently, so you
Exactly.
think they're dead, and then you walk by them, they'll fucking grab you. So
Right.
good call for that. Wouldn't that be a cool element to add
That
in?
would be
Like, yeah,
cool.
because
That would be cool.
yeah, all right, all right,
Because she's still because even at this point he seems to be more experienced and had seen this more than she has because
correct.
Ellie is older at this point in this part of the trailer.
Hmm.
So
But I mean, he's obviously seen everything. If he
yeah,
from
that's
the
yeah.
gate,
Yeah.
seeing it
Yeah.
from the dawn of the shit breaking out
Yeah.
to where he's
Yeah.
at now, he's seen it all, so he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go further. God, just
Look,
the look on
look,
his face.
he's older. You can. Oh fuck,
Oh my god,
Troy
I
Baker,
don't
man.
want it's just so good. So that right there, where you're trying to get away and they're
Hmm.
running after you, fucking scary. And it even grabs her. Let it play for a second.
Wait.
It
Oh, I didn't
grabs her and
even
pulls
notice
away.
that. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it grabbed her, and it looked like when she was on the ground right before that clicker was just gonna come get her. It looked like you can actually aim. So I wonder if they're actually
Mm.
doing that where you can actually aim specifically in a spot because that's one thing you actually you could do in the first one, but I
Yeah.
wonder if this one's a little bit more where you can have a little bit more precise and more precision in your shots.
Yeah, less quick time elements like that was born out of the PS3 area. More like,
Right.
well, even we saw that in
It have
the Dead Space that I just played, where
yeah,
they grab you and you can aim and
yeah,
try to shoot them off of you. So
right,
I like that.
right.
I do like that.
Now, what do you think of this?
Oh
What do you think of
man,
this
so
part?
they're all like a village is on fire. This is
Fire. Yeah.
what the fuck, man? Like, is it somebody that's nefarious and just trying to destroy this town, the civilization that has been built up, or
Maybe.
is this something like where shit went down? Ellie came and went and was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm burning this shit to the ground." Like, I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't
Or
know.
is that part of the actual the community in that
Mm-hmm.
Tommy's community that he has? Maybe that's an outskirts of it. Maybe
There's
they know that there's a looming danger of these other people that are
right.
taking out other little areas, and they're trying to eventually get into like the town or
Another
get into like the big.
affiliation, another
Yeah,
gang. Maybe someone's
yeah,
like, "Well,
yeah.
fuck you. Why should you have all this
Right,
fucking power or all of these
right,
access to this shit? So let's try
right,
to take it over." You
right,
know?
right. I don't know. All right, let's keep on going. Okay, so that right there,
Yeah.
just having Ellie being held down
Mm-hmm.
and she's already been beat up.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she's even trying to plead and just say, "Don't do this,"
Mm-hmm.
whatever happens, whether they kill her girlfriend, or they do something to injure her, and then they take her, whatever it is, this is the moment where she actually just this is where the story just plays out.
I'm kind of on like
Oh my god!
two
Oh my
minds of
god,
this.
dude! Wait a minute.
What?
What if this is not the girlfriend?
Oh, what do you think is Joel?
What
Fuck
what if
you.
that's Joel?
Fuck you. Don't say that.
Oh
I didn't even
no.
think about that.
Oh no.
Fuck. And that's the. Oh my god.
That's
Wouldn't
it.
that be some shit?
That's because everyone's thinking that it's the girlfriend
Yes,
because
because
they
they
took they
showed
were
that
going
in the
together.
yeah. That makes
which does
sense.
not mean that that's what it is.
Oh my god, the big switcheroo. No,
Dude, that's
fuck.
awful, man.
Oh
That is
my
awful
god.
for that to
Because
happen.
I was just gonna mention, I'm two minds with this thing, right? So they're
Mhm. Mhm.
showing a specific story element that is,
Mhm.
I would assume, you want to save for the game for players to like look at this and shit and be like
Yes.
super
Yes.
dramatic.
Yes.
So the best thing to do, like you just said, is allude to the fact that that's her girlfriend
Mhm.
because you've never met her. You kind of like are like,
Yeah.
oh, nah, what? It's this girl or whatever the fuck. The
Right.
fact that this could be the same scene that Joel gets fucking killed.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
And all these other scenes that we're seeing with Joel is all about him preparing her for,
Prep-
hey, if anything happens to me, I want you to be strong and not lose yourself
yes.
because there's a 20-year gap that we don't know anything about Joel.
Yep.
We only know of him 20 years later
Oh,
after the fact.
almost like the. Let's just go into this. Almost like the Obi-Wan, or like where
Yes.
like
Yes.
eventually they disappear and they're still
Yep.
there in presence and ghost form,
Mhm.
where they're still trying to teach you things and like
Mhm.
they're gone, but like fuck, man, this fucking game. All right,
Mhm.
go.
All right, I'm going to keep on going.
I love when they show those titles. It's like they
Yeah.
make a dramatic moment, pause,
Yeah.
and she's beaten down, she's
Yeah.
broken, she's obviously
Why they
not
why they
wearing clothes, but
why they let her go is beyond me. Maybe she fought her way out. I don't know.
mm,
I don't know.
yeah,
But she's clearly just done.
mm-hmm.
And she's also talking to Tommy too.
She's broken.
I don't know. I don't know. They showed this trailer and they also like say that like Joel's talking to her and she's like, I have to do this, on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, you can't do this or
That's
whatever.
the part, is like she's breaking away from him. That father figure growing up. Like there's elements in every part of this story
Yeah.
where it
Yeah.
could be, about anything,
Yeah.
and it's like she's trying to figure out her own life. Again, we don't know if it's a revenge story, whether it's the girlfriend or Joel being dead, or let's say the mom situation. Because again, we don't know anything about that. Like,
Yeah.
where'd she come from? So
Right.
it's all fucking. I hope
I
they
know.
they touch on all of this.
I'm sure. Of course they are.
Yeah,
Of course they are.
especially if it's
All right.
not going to be a three.
Exactly. All right. Let's jump in. Okay. So
He's older,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Like,
Look, that
kind of.
part right there. That part right there only showed her as a black guy. So maybe she had gotten into a fight,
Oh yeah,
and this is early. This is
she
early
could have got
in this
punched.
in this
Yeah,
exactly like you got into a fight or something like that. So I think they're cleverly tying this in so it makes it seem like he's telling her don't go, but maybe she's replaying these memories and this has already happened.
right.
Oh man,
Oh
I'm gonna stop
god,
talking. I'm gonna stop talking about it.
don't do it.
The fact that I even said that now when I'm playing the game, I'm just like I hope that's not the case
That's
because
the thing, is like I had that anticipation. I guess it never
yeah,
entered my brain because I'm like, okay, so we're not going to play as Joel. Fine. And this is the first like him playing the guitar, that teaser trailer of him like doing that. I'm like, okay, so he's a ghost. He's gone. I'm not. I wasn't anticipating him being in the game and then having something bad happen to him.
right,
So I'm like, oh,
right,
my emotions are fine because I know that he's already gone. The start of the game is just about her dealing with
mm-hmm,
her situation. Fine, but like the fact that you put him in here
mm-hmm,
just to have him go away, don't
mm-hmm.
do that to me.
I
Mm.
hope that's not the case, man.
But
I
it's
hope it's just a, I don't
but it's going
wish
to
it.
be
It's
because
gonna be.
it's gonna make you cry, and that's the
Yep.
fucking thing they want to do. God
Mm-hmm.
damn that. God damn that.
All right, let's keep on going. So she's packing up that gun,
Oh man, I
and then
love
I
I
think
love
that's
this. You see, like again, a linear path through the forest, but like the
right.
fucking way shit looks, the trees, the sunlight coming through,
Everything.
it looks so fun. Her riding the horse, ah. And
Dude,
if anybody doesn't know,
it
it's
looks great.
53 seconds in, by the way.
dude, this is great just in this alone because you're just kind of like you're having those moments where you can just like take in all this beautiful nature and life
Hmm.
before it shows you what the reality
Yeah,
is. Oh man, I wonder if you actually get moments like that where you can actually go real
they're gonna
slow
have to.
into the level and like you have a journey of like you're going from one place to another and you can kind of take your
I
time.
believe it because it like
Yeah,
you have to have some kind of respite, some kind of just just not dullness, but like just give us a breath.
right.
Sometimes you
Something.
just need to breathe.
Or just like that part with yeah, like that part at the university where
Yeah,
they saw those
it's
the giraffe.
yeah, it's just that
Yeah.
it's those moments where you're like
Hmm.
nature or I can breathe, I can chill.
Right.
Like we've been fighting these infected, we've been killing these things. We could have died multiple times, and now
Hmm.
I can just relax,
Yeah.
just for like a minute or two, because we
And then
know
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
gonna go down. But that breath is something you need to have.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's keep on going. So yeah,
That
I would have.
oh,
Okay, I
mhm.
don't see the
Uh,
location. Trespassers killed on site.
so this is different, right? Because that looks. Is that a prison? Because it looks like
It
almost,
looks like it.
because it has that tower that where
Yeah,
guards would I would assume be up.
yeah.
Because I almost was like, oh, is that the university that we used to
I
go
don't
through?
think so. Oh, it has that
Not
same
right.
look. No, it's another quarantine. Look up on the very top on the right. See that little banner? That
Oh yeah, I
little
do.
that federal little
Is
banner
that
thing that they
Seattle?
had.
It
Uh,
says SEAT, right?
T C SeaTac?
Oh, dude,
Huh?
bro, if that is that in
Is that
Washington?
a neck of the woods?
Oh fuck. Wait, what? And again, it's been years since I played the original game. Did they went to Oregon, right?
I
Dude, I need to fucking
believe
replay this
so.
game. I need to replay this game because I feel like
I think that's where they actually found where they found Tommy. I think
I need to fucking
maybe.
replay this game so I know
Okay.
where the because that's some cool shit. If they
Yeah.
come up under our neck of the woods, like holy shit.
And
Good.
even look at Ellie's weapon. Is that a rifle or is that a knife, a sword?
I almost thought it was. It's got to be like a sword or something. I was gonna say a baseball bat, but I'm like, no, it comes down to like almost like in a sheath, right?
I don't know. It kind of looks like right near her armpit.
Yeah,
It looks like that might look like a sight in a magazine.
yeah.
Maybe I don't know. That is weird. And that's the only thing that she has on there, and she has the
She's
thing
just a backpack
like
and that. Yeah.
yeah, just that.
Does she have a hole? No, I don't see a holster
No.
anywhere. Huh.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
All right, so let's go into that. That's
Is that
obviously oh
was that Tommy? Is that who that was?
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
that's Joel's brother. That he was. So no, this is like now that you fucking threw that in my brain of like Joel
Now you're
dying.
putting
So it's
it. See,
like
now you're putting it
he's
together.
yeah he's like trying to like tell her like all right he's gone.
Yeah.
You gotta figure shit out on your own kind
Right.
of thing. Like you're
Right.
gonna go on your own. You're gonna have to deal with it on. Oh
I know.
God.
And then these people like you've seen this before, where people are
People
just being strung
hanging.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being strung up for whatever reason. You've seen that. We've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just these people are just like they, just like anything. People will do anything they can to survive. Anything. And just that moment where she's walking, she has a gun
I'm not ready for this
drawn.
goddamn
I
game.
know.
I'm not ready for this shit. Not at all, dude.
So this must be what she was holding, what she was holstering.
Is that an
It,
AK? Some
no, it
sort
looks like a
of
bolt. It looks like
bolt
that same
action?
the bolt action that she used when she first learned how to be able to shoot when she was covering. Remember she was covering Joel
Dude, I need.
when he
Yeah, okay.
when he first
Because
told her how to use a gun.
yeah, yeah. I need to replay this fucking game.
Okay.
But I do
All right.
remember that. I do remember that.
Okay. So let's go a little bit further in. Okay. So this is I'm just gonna.
Again, him talking.
So that talking and that explosion, I I would have to imagine it's some sort of
Is that two different
like a
scenes, or like what is
I don't
that?
I don't know. It seemed like he was just still talking to her before she had left.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
this is just more of like
more
her
action.
venturing, more of like maybe where she not only like she forgets how to like remember things, like people leave like traps and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Maybe she forgets that because they showed that where she didn't, that one infected was still alive, where Joel shot it.
Mm.
That was just laying down.
Okay.
Maybe. All right. Okay. So this.
Is she being tortured?
Okay. That right there. That's not
Kidnapped?
Ellie.
Wait, what?
That's not Ellie.
You don't? What? I thought that.
That's not Ellie. Look at her. That's not Ellie. That's she's got black hair.
I can't tell from. I got.
I don't think that's her. I don't think that's her.
But like another scene, if we get further, I feel like she has the same knife to her throat, and she's like, "Bring it on, bitch."
Okay,
No?
look at her, look at her cheek. See that little like an indentation,
Yeah.
like, or not an indentation. It looks like a something on the inside of her skin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's I'll play it and then I'll pause it at that and see if we see that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where she's hunting him down.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like what we saw in the first trailer,
Mm-hmm.
revealed gameplay trailer where she was taking down that person and then look at she's obviously using the bow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love
She
the bow,
used it
dude. I'm all about the bow.
and then you could pull the arrows back, I'd imagine,
Mm-hmm.
and take them out and reuse them.
The quiver.
Okay, so that was somebody that she grabbed. I wonder if you can interrogate people, which would be cool.
All Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah,
Take it.
yeah.
You gotta throw that in there.
And then look, she's got the arrow is in her backpack, so they're doing the
I love
same
that
thing.
shit. I love
Yeah,
being able to do that.
but now look at the danger that you have. Look at these characters now have flashlights, and
Sure.
see how dangerous it is for you. Like you can't.
Oh,
You
okay. Yeah,
see,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
see they all have flashlights, so now
Dude, I love that.
you can't fuck around with these people. Like you have to like stay in the shadows. You have to be able to because they're gonna be smart enough
Mm-hmm.
to be able to like know if you're trying to distract them or
The
something. That
AI,
they're not gonna fall for it.
the AI definitely got
Yeah,
jumped up.
yeah. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, see
We're
right
at
there.
110 here, and then but she has freckles. It's well, kind of right on the
I
a little bit. It looks a little
maybe
bit
that
on
was
this on there.
I don't know because we didn't see freckles.
Yeah, but
Did you
this
see freckles on her?
not from that side. But
Okay.
I mean, like if
It,
it looks like the same situation though, so that's why I was like, oh, it's probably her.
okay,
You
you
know,
might be right because her hair is actually right
and he
in
was
between.
about to like
Yeah,
put a knife
cut
to
her.
the throat, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's why I assumed it was her.
Okay.
And she's
So all these takedowns, man. She has all these quick takedowns.
oh, here it is. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
See, then she just takes him down, cuts him. I love that they can still use the environment. Like you push them up against a wall
I
or
love
a
that
pole,
shit.
and still use that.
Well, I mean, they learned that from, Uncharted, like being
Yeah.
able to like move them, albeit like the first Uncharted, like they did
Yeah.
subtle movements against a desk or this or that, and kind of throw
Right.
around. I like that though.
Right.
It's cool.
So it's like that. Looks like you can be able to. She's bandaging her wounds. So maybe this is like a safe house because there's a little radio or something.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a radio in your backpack that you put down, and you could be able to keep in contact with the your other your other community.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe.
Or like they send you on missions or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, like try to see if you can go out and get us provisions, or
Right. Right.
I don't know. There's place. Supposedly there's rumors of them having some kind of ammo. Like bring it back. Like I like
Right.
that aspect of it. Like
Right.
you mentioned earlier.
Right. All right. So let's keep on going. Okay. So I don't know if this was her doing that
Mm.
because she's kind of. It seems like she's walking up to it for the first time.
Yeah, I think that she didn't. I think okay. So if people don't know, it's a body on the ground with arrows in it,
Yes.
and I would assume that it's her just walking up. I mean, it could have been interpreted two different ways. It
Right.
could have been like, oh, she's attacking her, and she killed her from a distance through a window, found out where she was, or she could have just came across this body and then it
Mm,
was like that
I
was it.
I think they're using this as a like. There's another person that's kind of like Ellie that uses the bow,
Ooh.
because there was one person I remember in the trailer, that reveal trailer that showed Ellie where she can crawl. There's one that used the bow and actually shot her and
Mm.
hit her, and then she broke the arrow off of her.
Hmm.
And there was a scene where she the after the girl hit her with the arrow, she's like she's alone, she's by herself, and then that's when the people started running after her. So I wonder if that's the same person, because like the bow looks like it's been broken, like the arrows are broken and stuff like that. So maybe, I don't know. That's what maybe I'm thinking.
Well,
Maybe.
and fuck, man. Again, I probably should have prepared myself a little bit more. Like, I really should have to like replay the Left Behind and Last of Us and
Yeah.
to like this shit. Did well you don't really you didn't play the Left Behind, but I'm
No, I
like,
left behind. I didn't see that.
wouldn't
And
that be some shit if she met up with her ex girlfriend, let's say,
could be.
and then the girlfriend that she has now, like, I don't know.
It could
Let me
be.
just throw that thought out there and see what.
Could be something. There could be
Hmm.
something, because everything seems to matter, especially from the very beginning where they showed scenes from the first game.
Hmm.
I'm sure everything matters.
Hmm.
All right, let's keep on going. Yeah, she looks like she's seen it for the first time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I feel
so
like that.
obviously you can still craft your
That's my
tools,
shit. I love
and
doing
now
that. It's
and
awesome.
now she's meeting people for the first time, people outside.
Hmm.
Who are you? Right there, that scene alone,
Love
where
it.
she's just about to hold a
I
gun.
love it.
I love the lighting,
The
man.
lighting's great.
The lighting in this new person.
You
This new
have
person is interesting.
this guy who is he reminds me of the fucking main dude from Walking Dead, like the very first episode.
Glenn,
Glenn, thank you. Is this the Glenn of Last of Us? We don't know.
maybe,
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 maybe.
maybe. Oh no, that's the guy that I think liked her in the community. Remember
No,
when
dude. See
they're
that I'm fucking up. I should have fucking prepared
is
myself.
that the same? I think that's the same guy. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy, because remember he wanted to dance with her before she danced with that other girl, her potential girlfriend.
Oh, in the
I think that's
trailer.
yeah.
Ooh,
I think that's the same guy.
ooh.
That's the same guy. I think so.
I'm gonna do a lot of homework here.
All right, let me keep on going.
Fuck. And what if they're older and
See,
yeah.
I mean, just this right here. I mean, this is what really grabbed me, is just the way that they've been able to capture these characters. Because look how look how defeated she looks. Like she's on her own. Like no one's helping her.
The fact that
Like
we've
she's
come so far with the way that they can use this technology, like
yeah.
create emotion in these characters and
Mm-hmm.
like live action shit, like I
Yeah.
fucking appreciate where we are now
Yeah.
compared to where we fucking started. And I'm glad I'm at the age that I am, fucking starting from the gate. Like you Atari, NES, all the way up to games are just whatever and all this shit. And now it's fucking comparable to like a
Yeah.
movie. Like
Right.
this is acting, this is emotion,
Right.
this is fucking the lines, the storylines, like the
Yeah.
combat,
All of it matters.
everything is. Oh my god! I just yes, let's fucking go.
Looking at this, the way that they've captured just the look on
Just
her
look at her
eyes.
eyes.
That's all you really have. That's all you see. I see everything else. Everything else is just secondary, because you look at her eyes and you just see that look of just despair. You can't.
That emotion.
She doesn't look like she can be able to go on anymore. She's like, you're my last person that I can rely on.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're telling me that you're not going to help me. What am I going to do? Or maybe she knows the odds at this point and knows that it's not in her favor. Like these people are too well organized. There's too many of them, and it's just her.
I feel like she
Maybe,
already like mathematically figured it out. I feel like she's like,
yeah,
all right, well, I needed you, and this would have helped more, but like ultimately,
Yeah.
we're fucked either way.
And that guy just making a choice, be like, I hope you find her.
Yeah.
But that's it. He's just like, I hope you find her. That's all he gives her. He doesn't want to help her. He doesn't want to put himself in
Why
danger.
would he? He feels like he's probably gonna get killed. So he's like, why would I fucking risk my life for this
Exactly.
shit? I'm out, dude.
Exactly.
I'm out.
Exactly. Oh my god. Okay. So this part right here, this is what I love the most. The lighting that they've been able to do in this game is just incredible. They've been showing a lot of red and a lot of flares,
They
but
have,
dude,
haven't they? Yeah.
I love what they've been able to do with this lighting, man. Because look at how it's on one side all
I love that.
brightly
Yeah,
lit,
you're right.
and then you look on the other side of the corner where it's being reflected off of that little subway train. Dude, I love the way that they've been able to like the lighting in this must be so dynamic that the enemies are going to be using that all the time, and you have to stay in the shadows, just like what you do in like Splinter
Yeah.
Cell. You have to rely on the shadows and rely on that because you don't have that. You don't have the ability to use these guns. You don't have flares. You are just finding you maybe you just have your bolt action and your bow. If they just give you that, I am totally content with that. I don't need extra weapons. I don't need a machine gun.
No.
I don't need any of that. I don't need an assault rifle with a banana clip. Don't even give me that. Give me a bolt action rifle that has to be reloaded every single time, and a bow and arrow that you actually have to pull the arrow out of the bag and reload it.
Yes. Fuck all that. Give me the
Yeah,
fucking bow and arrow, dude.
or
I'm
and a
all
handgun.
about.
That's it.
You know how many, like all the hours that I spent in Skyrim, all bow and arrows, nothing but fucking.
Wow.
I love. So give me that shit. Put me in a
Yeah.
subway. Put me outside. Put me in a sewer. I don't give a fuck. Give me a bow and arrow.
Right.
I'll fucking destroy these dudes. I'm. And they're all in military gear. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Arrow to the fucking throat. Let's go.
So right here where you see those three guards again,
Yeah.
look in the very far corner on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like that's a person behind that little barrier? It looks like a person that's hiding.
Behind, I see the one in front of the barrier.
Yeah, well, you see the barrier, and then you see right behind it. It looks like it's casting a little bit of light on something. I wonder if that's an actual person because it looks like they're looking directly at whatever they're looking at.
Okay, I can see what you're trying to say.
There's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks like there's something there, like a person's face or
Mm-hmm.
something right there.
It's like a little bit of a glow, I
Yeah, because they're focused in right in that area. Like they're looking directly at that
think. Mm-hmm.
something. Or maybe they walk right by you or something. I don't even know.
Maybe.
All right. Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
love the lighting effects, though. Yeah,
I
the
know.
reflections and things like that.
Look at how it just shows how Joel's just gotten so older. You can see it just in the subtle of his wrinkles and how well defined they are. Man, I I don't know.
I love how they
Every
aged
time
him.
now, every time I see him now, I'm just like, he looks just so. Right now, he just looks like he's lost
Yeah,
everything.
well, just play the first one. You'll be back to normal.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's what it
yeah,
makes me want to do. I'm like, I
yeah,
don't want to see him
yeah,
like this. Fuck.
yeah.
Let me just play the first one forever. There's no second.
Oh,
Fuck.
that's true. All right, so let's keep on going. Oh my god, man, these looks that they give each other, it's just so good.
Hmm. This is comparatively to, and again, I was telling you earlier about how I was playing Resident Evil Zero
Yeah,
as the Dead Space 2 was installing,
yeah.
and just the how dull like weird eye stare
Mm-hmm.
that is with like the main character Rebecca Chambers, such a generic fucking name in Resident Evil Zero, but her eyes were just like, okay, there's nothing there. It's just glass. If you throw a
Mm-hmm.
flashlight in there, there's no blinking. It's just there.
Right,
The fact that
right.
we've come so far to like video game animation and all this stuff, it's like fuck. I love the fact that it's just we have so much emotion. The being
Mm-hmm.
able to tell a story through, you know, smiling and sadness
Yeah.
and just the wrinkles, the eyes, everything. Like I love that shit.
the small little gestures that they
details.
give each other, the small little things, the little gestures that you give people without these like micro expressions that you
Hmm.
give, the way that they've been able to do that, where it's just a subtle little thing.
I love where we're
It's,
at with this shit, man, and it's gonna
I
get
know,
better. It's gonna get,
I
and
know,
we're in a fucking and we had conversations of like, kids and stuff like that, knowing only where they are at now. Like,
right,
fuck that, dude. Start from the beginning and then see the progression of where we're at,
right,
because goddamn, dude, you're gonna be surprised
mm-hmm.
how far we've come in such a short amount of time.
Well, especially that it's just it
What,
relies
30
just
years?
solely. Well, yeah, I mean that, and
30
also
years?
this
That's
game
now.
this game solely relies on it just being a single player game. Like
Hmm.
they stayed true to that. They played along with a little bit of the multiplayer,
Yeah.
but it never ruined what the game essentially what it
That's
is
their
and how strong it
that's the
is.
first thing, right? That's their main.
Mhm.
Same thing with Uncharted. Like, they had a
Mhm.
multiplayer element, they added in after the
Yeah.
fact, but like,
Yeah.
their main thing is narrative, telling a
Yeah.
story, going from point A to point B and ending it
Mhm.
right there. Everyone enjoyed the journey. It's an action movie. It's like that's what they want, and the fact
Right.
that they're able to conceive it from beginning to end, it's fucking cool, man.
I know. I know. It's incredible. Okay, so it's probably that same scene where you see the little black eye has actually kind of gone down, the swelling's gone down.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be around the same time of her having that conversation afterwards. So it seems like it might be
Could
maybe
be, yeah.
a couple days after, and he's kind of telling her like, all these he's telling her all these things that he knows that she doesn't know. Oh my god. Okay. These new people that she
Yep.
meets,
Mm-hmm.
and then this
So,
oh, okay. So this is why I'm saying that I think this is what's going to happen is because this right here, this scene just reminds me of at the very end where Joel finds Ellie and you save her.
mhm.
Remember that scene when you're walking up to that corridor or you're walking up to that door right before you bust it open?
God, yes.
That's exactly that's exactly what I'm thinking right here.
Hmm.
Whatever is leading her into this is basically getting her to the point of like there's no point of return.
Doesn't it almost look
She,
like government shit? Like, whoever these
yeah,
people are in the background, fucking like whatever. I
whoever
don't
that
know.
is.
Flashlights, military gear, almost
Yeah.
like they surrounded these people. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that would play it like an element to
And it's
what
just
is going on.
and this every time that they show like gameplay or anything like that, a lot of the sequences are like bathed in red, and red is
Interesting.
a subtle way of telling you that there's going to be so much. There's going to be you're you're not gonna come back from this because they show that a lot. And I wonder if they're trying to they're trying to like just reflect and try to show you, hey, there's gonna be something that's gonna happen in this that you're not gonna be prepared for. I don't know. Let's keep on going. The same people's being
Oh, I
taken
love the
down.
fucking shotgun to the goddamn
Yeah,
chest. Like,
yeah.
those moments, her having a
Mm-hmm.
moment with the girlfriend there.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
The quick
And this,
quick paces though too.
yeah,
I love that.
the way that it's just cut through, and then this one is like one of the big action sequences, but it looks like she's hanging onto the bed of a truck, and there's a Humvee racing after them.
Hmm.
So who knows what part this is, but obviously these people are well equipped enough to have a vehicle and they can get around.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like it's built upon the first game, where it's like, okay, there's these gang people affiliated to like work
Mm-hmm.
together enough so
Yeah.
that they're just trying to take you out. But like, yeah, what if there are military style people that
Mm-hmm.
are like, there's one mission
Right.
that they have, they're trying to like take you out and create order or something like that. Like,
Right.
that's
Right.
something that they didn't really bring into the last game, but this one, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's going to be shown a little bit more so.
I would imagine so. So let's keep on going through that. See
Yeah.
her just walking away.
Oh man,
Her
so
just walking away
powerful.
from him.
Yeah.
just like she has no choice. She's walking away from him,
She's an adult
and
now, though, dude.
and
Like she.
this is another. I don't know. I don't want to keep harping on this, but her walking away is almost as if she's walking towards it
It's
already,
true.
and Joel is comes out in like a vision of
Yeah.
in front of her, telling her, "Hey," or maybe she remembers something that a conversation that they had back when she was, getting older, that they had that's parallel to this. And it's her walking away from the same situation, and saying, it's like, I don't have that person anymore to console me
Hmm.
anymore. I have to do it on my own. And it's like that look on her face where she's holding back all that sadness and all that just loss, and she has no other choice but to go forward. And the next scene is, look at that, a person is trying to kill her, and she's just trying to get that knife away from her face.
And that's the thing is like, uh, shit, man. There's a difference. You're getting older. You appreciate the fact that you're alive because of this man. And
Right.
yes, there's a part where just like every father and their child is to let go after a certain amount of time. Like they're older,
Yeah.
you have to just let them live their lives, make their own mistakes, even though you know they're making a mistake. You can't intercede with that or interrupt that because
Mm-hmm.
it's different in the apocalypse. But I guess
Yeah.
it's something you still have to do as a human being, and then the fact that they
Yeah.
put that in there is fucking so smart,
Yeah.
so smart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just you never have a sense of safety.
Yeah, it's always something that can
Yeah,
be
it's always
taken
something.
away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Keep on going. So
Fuck.
this
Jesus.
that that look of just like complete loss, and I that's yeah,
It's like she has to do this
that's
too.
no, no, that's the scene. That's the scene.
Yeah.
That's after her getting beat up,
Yeah.
and her coming up to that person and seeing that. That's what that is.
Fuck.
That's not her killing somebody. That's her after they let her go. They basically leave her to
To
die, or maybe they.
show that, yeah. Fuck.
And then she gets up, and she sees because the body's still
Maybe
laying
she's
there. She gets
trying to
up, and
help,
yeah,
like figure out a way to survive.
yeah. Or they just beat her. They beat her down, and they basically leave her to die. Like they think that she's dead already,
Mhm.
and they leave her. And let's say that's Joel, that's dead, and she gets up finally, and she's all bleeding because she was all beat up, and she's seen the body on the ground. And she can't, like,
She
that's the
can't
scene.
like protect that part.
She
Like
can't do
like
anything.
let's say he's bleeding out of his throat or something. She's like trying to like
Right.
stop it, and like she can't.
Or he's
Fuck.
already dead.
Yeah.
Or he's already dead,
Look
and
at
there's
blood
nothing
on her
left.
face, dude.
I know.
Ah, fuck. She got beat the fuck up too.
It's everything. Like, all of that is just there. Like, you get nothing. All that is just showing that no matter what sense of happiness you have, it's always going to be taken away from you.
I need this game to be like now, dude.
I know. I know. I know.
Fuck, she's crying. God
I know.
damn.
See, once
Yeah.
again, all in red, man.
Yeah.
All in red.
You make a good point
I
about that.
think I think that's
It's
where it's gonna be, man.
a telling thing because I don't know what other company did that where it was like a certain color that
Yeah,
it expresses something, emotion, and some sort of
it's like the
like
like
yeah,
rage, or
like something.
complete
Yeah.
complete like revenge, because whatever led her into that door, where it looked like they had those red sirens going off
Hmm.
right before she went into that door. I think this is her. Like, they should have killed her.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But it's like,
yeah, you're right. This is the part where they're like, yeah, you
but
should have
it but
killed me,
it's also
dude. I'm gonna
but
fucking
it's
wreck shop now.
yeah
You killed
but
my
it's
fucking dad. I'm gonna fuck everybody up.
but also too, I'd have to imagine that Joel's choice in what he does at the very end of the game, I've always thought that was going to come back in some way,
Mm,
because that does
well,
have consequences to it, because she never had a choice. Joel or Ellie never had a choice.
Well, to your point, yeah, that could have played a part. And what if that was the thing that brought like
Maybe,
military or some kind
maybe,
of, all right, we've done with this
maybe.
pandemic for so long. Now there has to be
Right?
some kind of sole entity, like the government, to
Something.
come in to like fucking try to put everything into I don't know. I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know. But just that right there was just bathed in red and just that anger.
Anger, dude. Anger.
Oh man. I mean,
The way
out
that
of
they make this trailer too, and they cut
I know
things is fucking brilliant.
it. It's great too because it really does make it seem like it's going to be a complete revenge,
Hmm.
and the way that they've been able to set it up, it's just like your motivations are known, and it drives you all the way to the very end. Like I think they've done that so well, and it just the way that they actually crafted the story is just unbelievable, man.
Hmm.
Like you gotta imagine like what the TV show, if they have the right people behind it that can keep it still grounded within the within like the confines of the actual story that they've created. If they can do that, man, I mean, you can get more of The Last of Us for several seasons, several years.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
that'd
the
just be
thing. It's like
incredible.
you could do, as long as they sit there and think about it and are true
Mm-hmm.
to where they're getting their information from, and it's not just some
Yes.
random zombie apocalypse
Yes.
thing, story bullshit, and just putting it into it. As long as
Yeah.
they care for the characters originally that are there, like
Yeah.
and especially if Neil Druckmann's in charge of it. Like if that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I have no fucking doubt that this is gonna be fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I have no like I can't imagine like what they're doing and what how they would be able to fail at something like that. But I mean, the stuff that they do and the way that they've molded these characters, I mean, it's just I can't wait, and it's not going to be until what for another month.
Yeah, it's
I can't
what,
wait.
June 19th or something.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait, man. But I mean, I think that's enough for now. I think it's been a great kind of breakdown of our initial thoughts before and our thoughts after.
Right,
So, but we'll leave it at that. And this is just we're wanted to actually get our feedback on this, and I mean I can't wait to play it. That's all I got to say.
dude, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait
I
for
can't
it. It's one
I
of
can't
those
wait.
games where, again, a lot
Yeah,
the best of the generation from the PS3 era, and then
yeah,
and this is coming from like a lot of different games that were out during that time. You
yeah,
had what, that was a rarity for the PS3 era to last for so long. You
yeah,
went from, well, Xbox 360 in '05 launched,
yeah.
and then PS3 launched in '06, and for that to last as long as what? Where did we get the PS4 in and the Xbox One in, like 2013 or 2012,
Something
somewhere
like
around
that.
there.
Yeah,
So it's almost like 10 years of
yeah,
like, fuck, man.
yeah, yeah,
But shit, man, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be
yeah.
awesome. I can't wait for it,
And when we come back to this, when we actually do start playing it, I
dude. I
wonder
need to play
how
it.
close. I wonder how close. Well, just this next one. I
Oh,
wonder how
okay.
close we got. I wonder how close we
Ooh,
got.
let's go. Let's go look back when it releases and we finish it. Let's go back and like
Yes,
replay this trailer and be like, "Oh, we were fucking wrong," or "We
we're
were
totally
right."
wrong, or we're close, or whatever.
Yeah, that would be cool to do.
So,
So add that to the list.
oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to this podcast is going to be the audio version is going to come out first. I'm going to do my best to get the actual video version of everything we're talking about with The Last of Us Part Two, the breakdown trailer. I'm going to try to get that done as soon as possible tomorrow. So everyone that's listening to this, I know it can be a little kind of distracting that you can't see what we're talking
Right.
about. Um, but I'll do the actual video version of this as quickly as possible. So um, everyone that's listening to this, thank you so much for listening. If you're excited for The Last of Us Part 2, send out the comments through SoundCloud,
Through
through
YouTube. Yeah,
iTunes, through Google Play, or even through YouTube as well. So, but thanks Rob for coming in for this little special
absolutely.
little
Thanks for
podcast. And do you have anything last you want to put in?
all I'll say is like this was obviously we always go long, but I'm
Right.
enjoying this. We're looking forward to this game. We
Yes.
have
Very much.
more things to add soon. Uh,
Yes.
there's the Xbox conference tomorrow. Not well,
Right.
I guess today because now it's midnight.
Yes.
We'll go through that. There's plenty of news that we have to get to. So I
Okay.
know if people like long podcasts, you're in the right boat, I guess. I have a lot to say. We still didn't get to Dead Space 2. We haven't talked about
Exactly.
EA news. We
Exactly.
haven't gone into anything. So
Mhm.
look forward to some good shit
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
inside your ear holes.
That's
That's what I
right.
like to say. In your ear
ear
holes.
in your ear holes.
Yeah.
That's what Kevin Smith used to say. It's in your ear pussy.
Oh, I like that too. I mean,
Yeah,
any
he used to say that all the
any
time.
kind of a hole you want to listen to this to, we'll have it
Yeah.
for you.
Hey, if there's more people that will listen in whatever hole you want to, whatever,
Hey, shit.
just subscribe and comment.
Dude, we don't care. We don't care. We don't.
I don't care.
We don't.
Do whatever you want.
We don't discriminate around here, around
Exactly.
these parts.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.